It is a nice rainy day in the game room, and today I wanted to show you guys part of my collection. So I've been collecting CDs for a couple of years now. It's not too long, maybe since I was in high school, and I have filled out a specific shelf on here that I wanted to go over. I thought what better time to go over this shelf than now. So the way, and I'm talking about this tall shelf. So the way I've got them organized is I don't do alphabetical order for music for whatever reason. I do them by genre. So I wanted to go over my electronic music. Now this varies in different styles, and I've kind of got them laid out. I've kind of got them ordered in a way that makes enough sense to me. And I think you guys will understand what I'm getting at when we get started. But yeah, let's dive into that. So the shelf that I was referring to is this one right here. I wanted to go over them from left to right, and so I'm going to go ahead and take those out right now. Alright, this is a pretty familiar camera angle for anybody who's watched some of my stuff before. I've got all the CDs off to the side here, and we're gonna go get started. The first style of electronic music I've got on the shelf is ambient music, and I like ambient music. I've gotten into it more recently over the years, but it's been something that's been on my radar for a while. And I do enjoy it. I know it's not everybody's cup of tea, but it's nice. It serves its purpose. And this first one is kind of a deep cut. If you have been following the channel for a while, look with mine number 4, Unity. And the reason I say it's a deep cut is because I did an entire video on this a couple of years ago. It's an ambient album. It's pretty it's not too groundbreaking, but I talked about it then. I'm not going to say a ton about it now, but I do still appreciate that it's part of my collection, and I have listened to it somewhat recently, believe it or not. I'll set them down as I go along. This next one is a pretty good staple in the ambient genre, and that is Ambient 1, Music for Airports, by Brian Eno. And this one is pretty great. I forget when it came out. It was an old album, but it's super nice. Very pleasant listening experience. And Ambient 1, he's done a couple of these, and they're all great. And Brian Eno is just a legend in the ambient music community. Highly recommend this. I especially love tracks 1 and 4. They're my 2 favorites. Now the next CD is another staple in the ambient music fandom. That is Tangerine Dream. Now this group was the first, pretty much my main exposure into ambient music. Super cool, like kind of space age ambience. You know, I'm looking at these too, and like the spines and the backs are like exactly the same, like the same color, similar font. Just a funny observation. But Tangerine Dream is like an absolute classic. Hey, what's up? An absolute classic for ambient music enjoyers. This album, Phaedra, is one of their most popular, and it makes sense. I love track 2 in this one. Track 2 is really nice. But yeah, it's like super like space agey, 1974. Pretty cool ambient music. Definitely worth a listen if you're interested. And as a matter of fact, the second, the next CD is another one of theirs. It's Rubicon. I love this album cover. Honestly, I like this cover a little bit more than I like the actual album itself. It used to be my favorite. That was the scream of my parrot in the background, if you heard that. It used to be my favorite. Now I'm not too sure. They've got a lot of good stuff. But this one's still really good. It's got 2 tracks, and they're both like 20 minutes long, which is not super surprising for ambient music. But I still really like this one, and it was the first ambient CD that I got. Check out that record label. That's the record label that would sit on the middle of the vinyl when they were pressed back in the day. It's kind of cool that they got to keep that for the CD, and it's pretty rad. It really doesn't have anything to do with this particular album, but it's cool. While we're looking at this, I've got Stratosphere on vinyl, actually. It's another good one by them. But yeah, I really do like Tangerine Dream. It sounds kind of silly, but their work on the soundtrack for Risky Business is fantastic. Love on a Rail Train, that's my favorite song by them. It's beautiful. And now that's it for ambient music. We're moving on to our next subcategory here, and this one I talked about pretty recently because I opened it in the video, and it's Discovery by Daft Punk. And I talked about it enough in that video, and I might talk about it more in the future, so I'm going to move on. But don't worry to all the Daft Punk fans, because we can talk about Random Access Memories for a minute. This is my first one I got. It's broken, unfortunately. The case is, the disc works perfectly. And I need to listen to this one more, actually. I really like this one a lot. I'm going to try to open this. It's going to just totally come right apart. I love these Columbia records. It's the same thing with the Tangerine Dream one. This was like the record label on like the middle of the record. Some great tracks. Get Lucky's the most popular on here, but I really love Instant Crush. I really love Giorgio by Marauder. Sorry if I mispronounced that. I'm sure I did. But yeah, I gotta listen to this one more, because this one's really good. I think they won an award for this one. I just could Get Lucky, it was so popular at the time. But a really good one, really classy album. Design. I really haven't talked too much about the artwork for these. I guess I want to do that going forward. I really like this artwork a lot, especially for the theming with the music for airports. It's really cool. But yeah, and this next one, not really electronic music, but I don't really have anywhere else on my shelf that makes a ton of sense to put it yet. So I put the King of Beats Jay Dilla CD in here. And I figured, I mean, I got Daft Punk on here. They've got like some, like, not hip hop, but like they've got like, they share somewhat similarities. I might even, I disagree with that statement myself, but I know what I mean. But this is all Jay Dilla instrumental beats. And for those who don't know, Jay Dilla, super crucial producer in the lo-fi, like hip-hop scene. You can see he's got, this one's just riddled with all his gear. I love these. This is like a 2-disc set. And oh yeah, that one popped out when I tried to do that. I don't like these 2-disc CD cases because they're just so finicky. But these are all great. Super worth a listen if you've never checked out Jay Dilla's stuff. It's all great. His most popular album is Donuts, and that one's great too. And that one, even that one's like instrumental hip hop. But that's super good. Okay, now this next one, similar to the Daft Punk one, not that I've talked about it before, but that I'm going to talk about it, or that I'm planning on talking about it in the future. And that is, when I say a pioneer in the electronic music genre, I really mean it. We've got Aphex Twin, Select the Ambient Works. Now you might be thinking, Ambient? Shouldn't this have been earlier? And this title is pretty misleading for this album. It's really not ambient music. I mean, some of it is, like track 5, I, and track 1, X-Tall, which is apparently supposed to be said Crystal, which I kind of like. They're kind of ambient, like they've got ambient elements. But these tracks are all pretty rad. I really love, my favorite one is Helios Fan. I like Crystal a lot. But like I said, I'm going to talk about this in the future, so I'm going to move on. And you might have seen it in the shot of the stereo system earlier. I'm sitting on top of the stereo system because it didn't fit in the shelf. This is the straw that broke the camel's back, and another one that I'm going to talk about in the future. Select the Ambient Works, Volume 2 by Aphex Twin. Same situation. I'm going to talk about it later. But spoilers, I like it. And we've got one more Aphex Twin one. This is the Richard D. James album. And honestly, I might even talk to you about it more in the future. But of the 3 Aphex Twin albums I have, this is definitely my least favorite. It's just, I'm not like super into like the breakbeat subgenre as much as other electronic genres. And this one is, some of the songs are like kind of like I hate to sound so crude, but they're like kind of like a chore to get through. I like track 7, Goon Gumpas. Yeah, I really said that. But I mean, like, is there really such thing as a album that's not worth a listen? It's still pretty good. I hate that. What is that? It's definitely worth a listen, if you're interested. And it's still cool. It's just not everybody's cup of tea, myself included. But that's fine. I'm going to set this one to the side because it was sitting on top. And so I briefly mentioned Breakbeat while talking about Aphex Twin here. And this is one that I have mentioned before during a collection update. And it is The Fat of the Land by Prodigy. Now this is where it's at. This is like ridiculous, high energy. I mean, like, check out these song titles. But like crazy breakbeat. I'm struggling to think of other subgenres to describe it, but I mean, if you know, you know. This is a wild one, and this one's a ton of fun. And I love this album, especially the cover. I mean, look at that guy. That guy's cool. I really love Serial Thriller. Diesel Power's good. Firestarter's a classic. I gotta listen to this one again sometime soon. But I love this one. And another one, and the reason I mentioned that in a collection update video was when I unboxed this Fluke risotto by Fluke, sorry. And since I was already in a video, shoot, I can't get it to focus. you get the idea. It was already in the video. You've already seen it. You know I like this album, and I still do after owning it. I've had fun listening to that one since owning it. Now next we kind of get away from breakbeat. We got more toward some club stuff, some like dub stuff, techno a little bit, trance. And when I say trance, I'm talking about the Orb. And this is their best of album. I mentioned it with the Sade best of that I got, which, yeps, I am pronouncing it correctly now. I'm pronouncing her name correctly now. Best of albums, I usually prefer straight up albums rather than best of compilation discs, but sometimes the best of ones are just really good and a great way to get introduced to or just enjoy some of the better known tracks from an artist. The Orb, so tight. And this CD's got a pretty good mix of like different type of like different, like I said, dub, techno, trance. Little Fluffy Clouds is so tight. Perpetual Dawn's a great dub song. I really love Toxygen. DJ Asylum's nice. This is a great CD. Cool cover art. I really want like a ring like that. I think that'd be like a cool the Orb super fan like merch piece to buy. I think that'd be interesting. And don't worry, we're talking about the Orb a little bit more because I've got UF Orb. I think that's how you say it. And I know we keep on coming back to ambient music because it kind of it finds its way into different CDs. This one's kind of ambient too, in a weird way. It's like ambient trance music. Close Encounters, my favorite in here. Blue Room's great. UF Orb's great. Oob is great too. This is a cool one. This is a great one to stick on in the background while you're studying or doing whatever around the house, or just chilling. This one's pretty cool. I really enjoy listening to the Orb. They're pretty rad. I got into them last year and I've really liked their stuff since. One more kind of techno one. This one is pretty cool to me because I got it from a local CD store when they were closing down, and it sucks that they closed down, but I was happy to get something so good on my last day there, and that is Snowboarding in Argentina by Swayzak. I had never heard of Swayzak. I had never heard of this album, but I'm glad that it found me at the right time, because this album is tight. I had read somewhere that the title for this album was based on their dream vacation that they wanted to take if this album took off, and I hope it did. I hope they got to go to Argentina. Speedboat, Burma Heights, Blocks, Low Res Skyline, Fukumachi, all like fantastic. It's kind of funny, like they're all for the first couple songs in the album. French dub's okay. It's not really for me. It's another dub song. And then honestly, the last three here, I don't even really remember much about. I usually just get my fix from the first five and kind of move on. Sorry about that car peeling out outside. But this is a super cool one. Like I said, I really hope that it got them to go snowboarding on their dream vacation. I really like this cover. I don't really know what it is, but it's cool. It's very of the time. And this, I'm actually thinking of the music now as I'm talking about it. And it's funny because I got this like right before I was about to go snowboarding for the first time on a snowboarding trip, and it was just fitting of the time, and it's super cool to go back to. it's kind of funny how something, I mean, I got this in like February, and something that's been in your life for not that long can like kind of already give you like some nostalgia. It's kind of cool. I really like that album. And so next we come to our last styling, and this one's a good one. This one might be my favorite electronic music styling. It's kind of tough to call a favorite, but I really do love this one a lot. And it is drum and bass. And I'm going to start off with this one that sits on top of my CDs just because of what it is. It's disc only. It's in this weird little plastic case. But this is drum and bass with an MC Conrad going over it by Good Looking Records, which we will talk about much more here. This one's really cool. If you don't know what an MC is, when I talk about it here, you'll understand if you check this out. This one's really good. I can't really see the track list, but I know that MC Conrad Meets the Western is fantastic. I'm gonna stick that on there. But that's a great one. And like I said, we're gonna talk more about MC Conrad. We're gonna talk more about Good Looking Records. Here we've got Progression Sessions with LTJ Bookham featuring MC Conrad. So LTJ Bookham founded Good Looking Records, and produced. He founded the record label, and he was a producer himself. So he kind of just got to run the company and like do everything, and it worked out for him. He's still doing shows. My buddy went and saw him recently. Yeah, and MC Conrad emceeing over all these. These songs are available in other compilations and albums. Good Looking Record put out a lot of different CDs. Check out their logo. I love that logo. They put out a lot of different albums in collections. So they have re-released songs multiple times. But what's cool about this one is that you've got MC Conrad emceeing over it, and he does a fantastic job. And also just the way that some of these tracks, if you leave the CD running consistently, don't skip tracks, it's like one continuous set. And so just the way that they mix these tracks, they transition from Cedar from Equinox into Eastern Promise, is really nice. And like they'll like do like pitch shifts, they'll do all that cool stuff. They'll DJ that stuff, and it's pretty rad. I love listening to Planetary Funk Alert on this one. They did that song like phenomenally. I'm also just a big Seba fan because they did Camouflage really well too. Eastern Promise was rad on this one. But this is a great album. And when you listen to this album on Spotify, they don't have MC Conrad. It's just instrumentals, which is kind of unfortunate. So it's kind of unfortunate that you can't listen to it. But guys, there's always a reason for physical media, even if it's something simple like that. Sometimes you just find a reason naturally by collecting. Moving on, we've got LTJ Bookham. We got Producer 01. Now this is a collection that Good Looking Records put out where they would highlight a producer in each album. And in this one, the first one was for the founder himself, LTJ Bookham. And he's got some absolutely fabulous, I don't use that word a lot, but it came to me for some reason then. Look at the Rhodes back there. He's got some fabulous tunes. Tunes is also a word I don't use a lot, and I kind of wish I didn't. Coolin' Out's great. Demon's Theme is very popular of his. His most popular is Atlantis, I Need You, which he puts on like every CD, funnily enough. And it's great. I can't blame him. But Coolin' Out and Twilight Voyage are my favorites on here. Great start to the producer lineup, and you'll see more of the producer lineup here. We've actually got a 3-for-1 set, and this is an absolute bargain. Getting 3 in 1. It comes in this cool little plastic sleeve. I'm gonna go ahead and take that off, talk about them individually. We've got producer 04 for Taylor, and this one's great too. Really happy to have this one. I'm gonna look at the track list and remember. Time Fields is awesome. Language and Resolution are both fantastic, and Stargazing's not like the same. It's not like drum and bass, like, at least not to the same extent as this other music, but Stargazing's really cool. Super great one here, and great to get into 3 in 1. And then we got LTD Book 'em Again, producer 05. Honestly, this one, I love that shot. Look at that color. I don't find myself coming back to this one nearly as often, but it's still great. Look at track 10. He did a remix of the James Bond theme. Track 11, he just straight up took a Herbie Hancock track and mixed it. He did part 2 for Demon's Theme. We got Logical Progression in there. That's a good one. And yeah, this one's good. I just don't find myself coming back to it nearly as often. I'm not really too sure why, to be honest. It's a pretty good one. And then we've got Nookie. How do you say that? In at the Deep End. This one's great. Nookie's chill. I should have looked into some. I haven't listened to this one in a while. I should have looked into some of the tracks that I like from him. But Nookie's been around the block. If you listen to some of Good Looking Records' other releases, he's in there a bunch. There's another good one, and great one to get. You might as well throw that one in there too. Honestly, that Nookie one is kind of cheaper to get, so I would rather they put in another producer CD, but I'm not going to complain about getting another drum and bass CD. This one might be the first drum and bass CD that I got. It's Infinity plus Infinity by Big Bud, and I might be wrong, but I think this is like one of the ones that they put out like in the middle of their life, putting out CDs, and this one's good. I like how I was super confused there for a second, but I forgot that they didn't put the track list in there that like told you what was going on in each song, which I think is kind of cool. Kind of interesting. This art is rad too. Indian Summer is great. Chill is great. Blunt is great. A Way of Life great. Stone Groove great. Awesome. Big Bud's rad. I don't think that he put out like nearly as much with Good Looking Records as other artists, but don't sleep on Big Bud. That one's a great listen. And these next two, part of another collection that they were putting out. This is Points in Time, 01. It's just it's a compilation disc, not too much to talk about. Who we got on here? We got Pesce, PFM, the Western Classic. Blame, I love Blame stuff. He was in, he did Progression Sessions too, I think, and that one's phenomenal. Blue Martin's cool. Total Science, I love that name. They're great. These ones are cool to have. Just a nice little compilation disc. Not too much to talk about otherwise. Same for here. I've got Points in Time number 2. Same deal, another compilation disc. I don't think that this one's quite as good. We got Seba on there again. I love Seba. There's LTJ Bookham putting on Atlantis again. New Balance, not the shoes. They're cool though. Invisible Man, Bell Tune. That one's a little interesting, but worth a listen. It's cool. We got PFM again, Intense again. This one's fine. It's just I don't really listen to it all that often. I'm trying to speed up a little bit. I've got only a few left. Well, I don't need to speed up, but we've been here for a while. Studio X, an X10 DB 1 CD, meaning 10 drum and bass songs on 1 CD. Now Studio X is pretty chill. I like this one a good bit. The sticker here, I can't tell what's on track 1 or 2. But on this one, Touch Me is really good, and Station to Station is awesome. And we got Omni Trio in there, and Deep Blue. Omni Trio's got some really good ones. And I love the styling of these ones. It just looks like a CD that they got burned onto, and they put like little producer notes off to the side. Super cool to have in the collection. Now this one though, this might be, it's a dangerous statement to make. This might be my favorite drum and bass album that I have. Studio X2, 17 drum and bass tracks on 2 CDs. And this artwork is fantastic. It's so cool. And yeah, 2 CDs, 17 tracks, pretty rad. Aurora Boreal. Shoot, I've said that so many times I can't believe it was that hard for me to pronounce. That one's awesome. Look at the Draws, good. Gulfstream and Biorhythms by Greenfly are insane. Absolutely love them. And so they've got 10 tracks here, and they've got 7 remixes over here of tracks from the album too. Plus, you pop this in your computer, you could watch the LTJ Bookham live mini movie, check out some artist biographies and gallery, and get some oh my god, get some screensavers and wallpapers. That's pretty rad. I promise I don't have a list normally, just when I film, I guess. But this one's tight. I love this one. It's the same kind of deal, same kind of aesthetic, but man, this one's cool. The CD's back there. I already talked about how much I don't like messing with the double CD cases. And believe it or not, guys, this is the last one. We've got Different Perspectives mixed by Aural Imbalance. And Aural Imbalance was my first drum and bass artist that I really started following. And like this mix is not on like SoundCloud. I meant Spotify. Jeez, I gotta stop. I'm really getting tired. This is not on Spotify or anything. I just found this on eBay. I just typed in Aural Imbalance CD and this popped up. Atmospheric drum and bass. I don't like one track more than the other on here quite yet. Yawning, man. But I'll pop this in and just let it go and just listen to the whole thing, because it's just so nice to have on in the background. It's a really cool one. Definitely recommend checking it out if you can. But like I said, guys, that is all of the CDs on my electronic shelf. Not a ton. Like I said, I'm still pretty new to CD collecting, but I love what I have. And I'm really happy I got to share them with you here today. Thank you guys so much for watching, and take care.